Good morning, everyone. Welcome to yet another morning where we are highlighting Lily Mine. Thank you so much for each and every one of you being here. My name is Lerato Ngobeni. I am the National Spokesperson of ActionSA. We are here this morning once again to highlight and register the issues of the families of Lily Mine. Behind me you will see we are joined by the families that are affected by the tragedy of Lily Mine. We have the Mnisi family, the Nyirenda family, and the Nkambule family, whose children and whose family members are trapped underground at Lily Mine in Barberton in Mpumalanga. We are here also joined by the provincial chairperson as well as premier candidate for ActionSA in Mpumalanga, Ms. Thoko Mashiane, who I will give the platform to come and give us a fuller context as to why we are here. Provincial chairperson Mashiane will be followed by Herman, who everybody I think is aware and knows him. He has served as the spokesperson of the families for the longest time, and Mr. Mazibuko will come and tell us the personal account of what the families have been through and where we are in the process as in collaboration with them as ActionSA, fighting for the plight of the Lily Mine families. And then at the end we will have the president of ActionSA, Mr. Herman Mashaba, who will also give us his remarks. Members of the media who are here, welcome and thank you for being here and always supporting and always taking our word to the rest of South Africa. I will take questions at the end of all of the proceedings and then we'll take it from there. Thank you very much. Let me welcome Provincial Chairperson Mayor Thoko Mashiane.
Thank you, Sisi. Good morning, South Africans. Good morning, people of Mpumalanga. Especially good morning to people of Barberton, Lows Creek. I'm standing here today with the families behind me, very much disappointed. I am here as a mother, I am here as a sister, I am here as an aunt, I am here as a grandmother to those parents, siblings, children and grandchildren of the 3 victims who are still stuck under the mine. I'm so disappointed in the government that I voted for one day, a government that doesn't care for its people. I'm so ashamed to say I'm a South African. I'm so ashamed to say I'm from Mpumalanga. I'm so ashamed to say I was born in Barberton, where my mother still stays there. Mpumalanga doesn't care of its people, because even the politicians, people in power in that part of the world, don't care about these parents who are standing behind me. And I'm so surprised that when the politicians doesn't care for us, even our own justice system, that as ActionSA we are saying we want to support, but the many things are happening, I don't think I will ever support them. There are criminals who were declared criminals last year, but they're still running around, making a mockery of these families. We are here with the families as Mpumalanga collective to say enough is enough. We need action. We are people of action. We don't talk. We don't promise. The promises that the NPA has been given us, we are saying it's enough. From today, we need to know what will happen with the 3 and what will happen with these families. Winter is coming. They're still on the tents. What will happen to them? So NPA, we need answers as people of Mpumalanga, as people of Barberton. I thank you.
Thank you.
A very good morning to everybody, fellow South Africans, ordinary South African citizens. My name is Herman. who was working at the Lily Mine during the time of the incident. The 5th of February 2016, to us as the employees, as the families, it was like any other normal working days. Unfortunately, on that morning of the 5th of February, nobody knew that our life is going to change to the West for the past 8 years. As today, together with the families, we mark 1,819 days camping outside the mine after being removed inside the mine on the 14th of May 2019. Because after the collapse of the mine management made a promise to us as employees that our jobs are safe. The mine management made a promise to the families that their loved ones are going to be found. Unfortunately, here we are today. Not that we don't have other commitments, but we haven't got a choice. We are a very unhappy people living in a democratic country for the past 8 years, whom I can say it's 8 years of torture, it's 8 years of betrayal. Why I'm saying so is not me saying so, are the courts of the Republic in our country. Because they say somebody, one stakeholder, acted unlawful. Unfortunately, here we are today without a single answer as the families. And all we need is closure. We are not business people, we are not politicians, we are families who are crying for our loved ones to be found, especially we as Africans. We must get that closure, whether they are normal. We know that experts, they say are normal, but we are Africans, we've got our beliefs, and it's our right to believe in whatever we believe in. All we need is closure. Unfortunately, all the systems in government are failing us, because we've been attending courts many times as the families, and that is not our interest. We are not law experts, we are grieving families. All we need is Yvonne Mnisi and Solomon to be found. 3 years later, after the collapse of the mine, there was no feedback from the business rescue, because you must remember that the company has been placed under the business rescue process. So there was no feedback from the business rescue practitioners. There was no feedback from the mine management itself. There was no feedback from our union by then. There was no feedback from our government, DMRE in particular. Therefore, we as the community, together with the families, we made a decision, because we are the ones who spend sleepless nights. We said, no, let us try to do something. Let us approach our government that we voted for. Unfortunately, our correspondents were not responded to by our government. So we took it upon ourselves that no, to draw attention from our government, in particular DMRE, let us go inside the mine unlawfully, so that the government will draw attention of our government. Unfortunately, our own government removed us forcefully through SAPS on the 14th of May 2019. We decided not to go back to our various locations or where we reside. We say no, because there was a court order issued that we must be 1,000 meters away from the mine. That's where we are since the 30th of April 2019 till to date, sleeping on the bushes. Our parents, our mothers, the mother of Yvonne Mnisi and Solomon, they are sleeping under a tent, irrespective of what weather conditions. And in many occasions we've been attacked. Cases have been opened by people who were brought in or who were sent by the very same management, those criminals, those who were working under. We thought we had closure when the Constitutional Court said, no, now there's nothing wrong with all the judgments, the 2019 judgment in Mbombela High Court, whereby the business rescue practitioners were instructed to convene a creditors meeting and let the creditors decide on the future of the mines. They've appealed the judgment. And 2021 again, under acting President Judge Lukhodi, same judgment, up until we head to the Constitutional Court. Late last year, October, a judgment was handed over that this is what will bring us to the finality, to the closure we've been anticipating for. We stand here today to demand us, because we, together with the families who are praying people, let NPA tell us what is it that is holding them to prosecute as per the court instruction, so that we as prayer warriors will pray for NPA, because what we know, what we've been told by our court, this is a matter of agents. We needed Pretty Yvonne and Solomon on the 5th of February 2016. Just imagine the pain we are going through without having closure. We were asking ourselves day and night question whether they are alive. People used to come with their beliefs. They tell us that it once happened in ancients of times that people disappear for over 10 years and come alive. We don't know. All we need is to find them so that we see ourselves whether they are no more. That's all we need. We haven't got money. We are not law experts. We are not business people. We need Yvonne, Pretty, and Solomon to be found. After many attempts failed by our government and the stakeholders, including our union, there was a project that I saw in Facebook. It was headed by Herman Mashaba. I say no, because we've been weighing many options and we have failed. It was called the People's Dialogue. It's whereby we, as the families, through me, we get hold of that project, and we presented our story that I've just presented. That's where we started, and fortunately enough, our hope has been revived by then, the intervention of Herman Mashaba, because now is our last hope, because nobody has ever assisted us. He has assisted us, and we have achieved the love because DMRE lied to us that the container cannot be retrieved. Money has been spent by him and his party, maybe, that we need information that what informed that decision that the container cannot be retrieved. Fortunately, we find that DMRE changes its tune now and say the container is retrievable. So we're working with them to get till to date now, and most of the family members, 100% of the family members now, they haven't got any other choice. So our prayers is that we really appreciate the intervention of Herman Mashaba not being, or ActionSA not being in government. Our prayer is that such people, we need to support them so that they will be in government, so that they will assist the entire country that is suffering. We're saying this with the experience that we have and the communication that we've been sending, asking for help from our government. So today we are here marking 1,819 days of betrayal, of torture, and 2,999 days since the collapse of the mine. We haven't got an answer. System as law-abiding citizen will follow the procedures because we cannot break the law. But we appeal to the authorities in laws that this is an issue, it's a humanitarian issue, we must treat it urgently. So all we need is NPA to tell us what is it that is holding the perpetrators that brought us in this mess, so that we'll pray for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harry. Mr. Mashaba.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Sis Thoko, and thank you to the families. You know, for me, it's really one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. All the time, it's actually to meet these families. Really very difficult, something that I dread. Why am I scared of meeting the family? What do I tell them? We live in a democratic dispensation with a constitution passed in 1996. And in that constitution, we talk about human rights. And if we talk about human rights, whose human rights are we actually referring to? Here's 3 families, black families, who died on the 5th of February 2016. Murdered, actually. They did not die. They were murdered. And the reason why I would really say they were murdered, because mine management received 2 independent the reports from mining engineers warning them about the reckless manner in which they were mining. reckless mining. And this has now been proven by the courts when they had the inquest in October last year, demanding that the people responsible must be prosecuted. And here am I, we're sitting here with a family 6 months later. I don't know what to tell them. That's why I've actually decided let's come here to the NPA, because they are our last call of resort for the intervention. Because obviously if we don't really succeed here with our National Prosecuting Authority, everyone is in contempt of the courts, because we can't go back to the courts. That means we then have to really then approach international courts. Where else can we go? Because the courts have already made the determination that people responsible for this murder of Priti, Yvonne and Solomon must be prosecuted. But if our law enforcement agencies are refusing, what options do we have? We are not prepared, and I just want to send a message to South Africans that we are not going to sit back until these families can see justice. They can see a proper burial of their 3 loved ones. But more importantly, for them to really go back and actually start their lives again. They've been robbed of 6 years of living in hell, living in tents, under different weather conditions. And we're saying as South Africans, we expected to sit back and say we can't do anything. No, we can do something, and we are going to do something about this particular matter. If anyone actually thought that this matter of Lily Mine will be forgotten, no, Lily Mine is not going to be forgotten. Lily Mine is not going to be forgotten. Lily Mine is going to be top of mind for all South Africans, including now involving the international community, to really know why the South African government is actually doing to these poor black South Africans. We've heard of cases of people talking about Black Lives Matter. It's Yvonne and Solomon and Priti. Are they not black enough that they can actually be part of Black Lives Matter project? Perhaps they're not black enough. I don't know how if we say Black Lives Matter. Well, because it's not just really a question of Black Lives Matter. It's a question of lives matter, regardless. It's as per our constitution. You know, when in 2020, January 2020, February 2020, when Harry and the family contacted me, I eventually went to the mine. I remember that day quite vividly, and I drove in and out because I wasn't really sure of the distance. And while they related the story to me, I could really see absolutely, without any shadow of doubt, there's something is not right here. Because while Harry and the family were explaining to us about government, our own government, Department of Minerals and Energy, and our police and the mine management, that they made the decision that that container cannot be retrieved, I said, no, something is not right here. And I committed to them that we'll find lawyers, because I just really, the first thing that I want to know is what evidence, what scientific evidence informed DMRE, what decision informed mine management that this container cannot be retrieved? It took us almost a year. It took us more than a year actually, with spending to date really close to 4 million rands in legal costs. Eventually our government considered that they had no scientific basis for making the determination that that container cannot be retrieved. Now you ask yourself, why should government get involved in private matters? Because the Lily Mine was run by a private company, and the department has had the responsibility to protect not only Priti, Solomon and Yvonne. They have the responsibility to protect all the miners in our country. Why then lie to us that that container cannot be retrieved? Now it's been proven beyond any reasonable doubt. And we've got really serious concerns with the business rescue practitioners, because upon the collapse of this mine went into business rescue. And the current business rescue practitioners, as far as we concern as ActionSA, we hold them culpable to be responsible for this. Because how many, they are now in contempt of 3 court orders, including the Constitutional Court, to take the proposal to the shareholders so the shareholders can decide on this particular matter. And on one of the shareholders, as South Africa and the world is aware, one of the shareholders prepared to buy this mine, and one of the conditions is that they will retrieve this container. Business rescue practitioners are literally refusing to take this matter, to act in the interest of the stakeholders, not only the mine management. But of surprise to us is the reluctance or the delay with the National Prosecuting Authority. That's what brought us here this morning. As to why, after the court order in October last year, where judgment was made that people must be prosecuted, why there's a delay? What further evidence do they want? Because I want to take you back to when we got involved in this particular matter. As soon as we discovered that container can be retrieved, we investigated this matter. This family went to lay charge with the police. Three court orders. They are in contempt of 3 court orders. So we honestly are really quite surprised. There is really something that the eye cannot really see in this particular matter. Why is our government involved in private matter and actually protecting those responsible? Why is our law enforcement agencies now party to this criminality, to this human rights abuse? Fortunately enough, we've got someone here from the NPA who can really give us the reason why they're delaying. Because I remember in December receiving a notice from NPA that it is December, all their senior people are on holiday. On holiday, 8 years later, people are... Families' lives have been destroyed. 3 of our fellow South Africans are lying underground. And then you tell us in December you close. Then we said, okay, we'll wait until January. I can show you their correspondences, that this is a complicated matter. It needs a further investigation. What further investigation? We've got an inquest, the report, it is there, approved by the court in this country. What more evidence do they want? Do they want the court to come and to get that container out? For them to really get the evidence. They've refused the family and the miners to take that container out themselves, including actually refusing them to camp near the mine. No, fellow South Africans, this is totally unacceptable. We live in a democratic country, constitutional country. No one is going to really stop us from going deep into this matter. We have to unearth what actually happened. Who are the people behind this evil system, these heartless people who have traumatized and robbed these families 8 years of their lives, 6 years of which are living in the bushes. No, we cannot allow that to really happen. These families, we've been trying to engage them to say, please go back home while we are fighting this matter. And they're saying, no, we are not going anywhere. Now, I just want South Africa and our law enforcement agencies, NPA in particular. Are you comfortable? Do you sleep at night when you know that your fellow South Africans are sleeping in the bush for 6 years? Their children growing up without their parents. 3 of them sit 70 meters down. With something that can really be resolved overnight. It's not like it's something that it's impossible. That we says, no, we don't have any emergency in this particular matter. No, this is totally unacceptable. So, fellow South Africans, we just want to really commit. Actually, when I thought of this particular matter, my proposal to the family was that we must come and actually camp here, and I was coming to camp with them. I said, no, let's remove our camping. Your camping, let's come and put it next to the NPA, because they're the ones who must obviously institute criminal proceedings. I said, I will come and camp with you and leave my home until such time that something is done. But my team decided, no, let's rather do it in this manner. Come and address the media and address the world, so that South Africa, the people of this country, particularly us as black people, can really know what kind of government we've got. At the same time, we really want the international community to really know how heartless, how insensitive this government is. That they are prepared to capture our criminal justice system from protecting law-abiding citizens. What law have these people broken for them to be robbed of their family members? What have they done? What crime have they committed for us as a country to allow their lives to be disrupted for 6 years, including 2 years ago, where the mine owners unleashed hardened criminals to go and bend down their structures? I mean, that is another matter that NPA, you need to really investigate. Hardened criminals, 12 o'clock, went down to go and bend their structures. All the evidence is there because they went during the day. Brazen. It took us and our lawyers to get these people arrested. Never spent a day in prison, released. I don't know how many times I went to court, and we will only hear while we're outside that the matter has been postponed. Eventually, the matter thrown out of court, claiming that they don't have enough evidence. What evidence? We've got evidence of the people behind this. Hardened criminals. One of them was serving, what, 32 years or whatever, only served 10 years for murder and robbery. Unleash them on poor South Africans, law-abiding South Africans. And anyone must tell us we care about human rights in this country. We must not care about human rights only in paper. We must be concerned about human rights when cases like this come to attention. That's how we must demonstrate our caring for human rights. Human rights is not an ideological thing. It's not an academic thing. It is real. It is real. Here are fellow South Africans whose rights have really been violated to the extreme. Violated to the extreme. So we are appealing to the National Prosecuting Authority to please don't really push us any further than this. Please don't push us any further than this. We're just really asking you to do what is right. Please ensure that you can give justice to these poor South Africans. Maybe they're poor enough that you feel they're not worth anything. They're not worth seeing justice in this country. For us as ActionSA, we say no. Our constitution says they've got the fullest right like anybody else in the country, and we are going to do everything possible. If our criminal justice system is going to keep on failing them, then we'll have other options, as I've indicated, including in approaching international courts, bring this matter to the international stage so that the people can really know what kind of government we've got in this country. So thank you really very much, my colleagues, the families. You know, it's always difficult for me to really face you, because honestly, I cannot imagine what we as South Africans have subjected to. But the only guarantee and comfort I can give you is that as ActionSA, we are committed to this particular matter. We will ensure that one day that container can be retrieved so that you can have proper burial for your family, for your loved ones, that you can go back to your respective homes where you can go and restart your lives after 6 years of being deprived by your own government. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to really take the questions, but I think there's a representative from the NPA who wanted to say something. Thank you so much from my side.
I think you can come through, sir.
Good morning to the families, good morning to the media, good morning to the colleagues. My name is Isaac Lulu, I'm with the NPA. I'm here just to accept the pleas that ActionSA and the families have brought to our attention. Let me first also pass our condolences once again to the families for your loss. Your loss, we understood it fully. and we understand your pain. We don't take it lightly. What we can commit to you and tell you is that the NPA is committed to the rule of law. The NPA will prosecute this matter without fear or favor or prejudice, and the wheels of justice are turning slowly. I know that it's not the appropriate answer that we want right now, but we will ensure that we deal with this matter. We'll take it up to the powers that be right now as we live here, and ensure that the matter gets speedy attendance in terms of making sure that whoever needs to go to court, back to court and prosecute and does their job. I'll end there, but we are committed to ensure that there is justice at the end of the day and everybody else gets justice in South Africa. That will be all. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Dludlu. Thank you, Provincial Chair Thoko Mashiane. Thank you, Bab Herman. Thank you, President Herman Mashaba. I will now open for questions. If anyone wants to ask questions, please let us know your name and also the organization which you represent, as well as who it is you intend your question to be responded to by. Questions? Go ahead. How many questions? You have two? Okay, so let's see. Kaya, ENCA, yeah, in that order. Please go ahead. We will also allow you all to do one-on-one interviews when we're done. So you are welcome to do one-on-ones when you are done. But for this session, please go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much. It's Madamani Grievances. Mr. Mashaba, ActionSA, we've done a lot. We've done a lot privately. This is a private matter until ActionSA come on board next. We've done a lot. I don't even have questions to you. Questions should be to the NPA. See, the NPA are here. Why so many years? Why so many years? I mean, it's so hurting to hear that the families are not being treated as they are. I mean, the question is to the NPA. Why so many years? Nothing has been done. Thank you.
That's an important question. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Thanks, I'm from BNCA. Mr. Mashaba, just maybe more clarity. Who do you want to get prosecuted for what? Maybe just clarify who should be criminally prosecuted and for what exactly.
Okay. Is that all? Okay. Thank you.
Colleagues, just not to really dissect the issues in front of the media or right here and try and be, sort of try and unpack the court issues. It's been a long time. That's an acknowledgement. We acknowledge that, and we are trying our best to make sure that we really take this matter seriously and ensure that every T's are crossed and I's are dotted as appropriately. We cannot just prosecute for the sake of prosecuting. There needs to be a proper evidence that needs to be analyzed, and all of us, once we have agreed, the evidence is there. We are just, this process, hence I've said earlier on, the wheels of justice are turning slowly. Unfortunately, that is not something that is within our powers, but we need to work with other stakeholders that are involved in this matter. But we are committed to ensure that there is justice at the end of this matter. Unfortunately, I won't be taking further questions because the matter is still in court, and I don't have all the details in front of me to then give you blow-by-blow account in terms of what is happening currently. But we are very much committed to ensure that justice is served to the families and to every South African that knows about this matter, to make sure that there is, a rule of law that at the end of the day everybody can actually look forward to and believe in it, because we are the only prosecuting authority in this country. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I think this question is going to lead to the response from the NPA. An inquest was conducted over a period of 2 years. When the court in the Mbombela High Court made a judgment in October last year, they were not really basing their judgment on ideological, vague issues. They pointed out the court judgment is so clear, the people responsible. Mine management, because this mine received two separate reports from mining engineers 2 years before the collapse of this mine. That what they were doing, it's really dangerous. It's going to lead to serious consequences. So it's part of this inquest. So it's pointed out in that inquest. We're happy to really make the court judgment available to you. South African police, for refusing all along to prosecute the people responsible for this, including in the initial stages when they went to lay charges, the police were refusing to even take the matter until our intervention. And the Department of Minerals and Energy for their role in covering of this matter, including openly lying to society that that container cannot really be retrieved. So, I mean, so we're happy to really make that court judgment. You can see the people that are actually noted in the judgment are the mine management, South African police, and some people in the DMR, Department of Minerals and Energy. It is in the court. It's not us as ActionSA or the family saying go and prosecute so and so because we don't like them. It is a court judgment. So it is for that reason I don't understand what other further evidence does the NPA require to really be able to really prosecute. On numerous occasions, immediately after taking over this matter for as ActionSA, at the time there was no ActionSA. I was contacted when we were running the People's Dialogue. We then asked the NPA on numerous occasions. We've got lots of correspondence with them to say, if you guys don't want to prosecute, then allow us, because you are claiming you not to have the evidence, but here's the evidence of the negligence of mine management, why this container collapsed. So I find it really very strange that they're still looking for what evidence. I don't know, must we get further evidence from the United Nations or from the International Court of Justice? I don't know what evidence, because the evidence is there by the courts, where the formal inquest was done in this matter. So honestly, it is a slap in the face. It's an insult to the families that they still need to do any further investigation before this matter can really be resolved. It shows the heartlessness, it shows the insensitivity of our criminal justice system, including their capability in this particular matter. So we cannot really leave them out of this mess that we've put these families under. So we find it totally, honestly, an insult. These are people, this is not a dream, colleagues, what you are seeing here. It's not a movie. It's not the Hollywood people acting. These are real human beings with real emotions like you and I. 8 years later, we are still being told they are still investigating. No, something bigger here. It's on play, and we as ActionSA, we commit. We're going to go deep into this matter. If it means our criminal justice system in this country is not willing to attend to this matter, then we'll talk to our legal people to see if we can approach international agencies that can assist in matters of this nature, where government fails its own people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mashaba. Colleagues, as we draw to a close, firstly, that you are welcome to do your one-on-one Q&A with the colleagues and everybody who's behind me, as well as my colleagues who have spoken. I do want to remind everybody, as ActionSA, that what Mr. Herman has stated, over 2,000 days since this has happened, almost 2,000 days of the families camping outside of the mine. We know in this country you have the Senzo Meyiwa case that is also still ongoing. We are saying as an organization, please feel for the people who are standing here beside us. We urge South Africans to never ever forget, if you are a Mnisi, you are affected by this matter. If you are a Nkambule, this is your family. If you are a Nyirenda, this is your family. We want people to remember those three names. We have Yvonne Mnisi, Solomon Nyirenda, Pretty Nkambule. Please remember their names. They are part of us. They are part of our country. They are part of our humanity as South Africans. We cannot let them down. All of us want to know where our people are buried. In 2010, there was the Chilean disaster where those miners, over 30 of them, fell underground, almost 700 meters underground. The Chilean government stopped everything, consulted, and got even our own people here in South Africa to go and assist the Chilean government to retrieve its own people who were trapped more than almost 700 meters underground. Colleagues, ours are trapped just over 60 meters underground. It cannot be that our government cannot use the expertise that we lent to the Chilean government to retrieve our own people. That cannot be. South Africa must be as enraged about this human crisis as it is about other crises around the world. We are at the end of this. I want to echo what my colleagues have said. This matter, if you visit Barberton and you visit this place where this tragedy has occurred, you have got to be less than human not to feel how these families are feeling. Their children are grown now. Their family members, some of them, have been so traumatized, have not been able to go through with school. It is not something that we should tolerate as a government and as the people of South Africa. I will end it there. Thank you all very much. Thank you to the media. Thank you to everybody who has been here. I will allow my president, they say you don't speak after the president.
No, I just really want Sibusiso to just to really share with you, Sfiso,
Yes.
just to really share with us what really happened to him, how we've really destroyed real lives.
Sfiso. Yes.
Are you happy to really share your personal experience with us so that South Africa and the world can see what we are talking about? That this is not just really a movie. We are destroying lives in this country, in a country with a constitutional democracy.
It's really painful. Every time when you talk about this issue of Lily Mine, because I'm asking myself, you said we got democracy in 1994. And then we are free. Is this one of the signs of freedom from our government, from the NC government? Because our parents, when they were voting, they thought the NC is representing black people in particular. Unfortunately enough, the NC doesn't care about South Africans. Because I'm asking myself many questions. If one of those people, if one among those people who are still trapped underground was a white person, was our government going to take so long to intervene to this matter? Or if the management of that mine was black people, was our government going to take so long to intervene in this matter? We are sleeping there. We took a decision as the feminists that we are going nowhere up until our loved ones are brought back to surface, dead or alive, wherever they are. We are living under hazardous situations there. We got attacked 4 times. The first time, they came with petrol to burn our tents as well as our shacks while we were sleeping. And then they came with an explosive for the second time. The third time they came with firearms, because in that area we have got a lot of illegal miners there. They are having many illegal guns. And then the 4th time they came in the daylight. They burned all our things there. We went to the Lord's Creek police station to go and open a case. That case was not entertained. It wasn't entertained. They said all our things, they were all destroyed. Because when this incident took place, I was studying, and then I was not able to cope with my study. After I attend some meetings there after the collapse of the mine, where I realized that no, some other people are taking advantage of our parents that they don't understand English. I said, okay, let me pause with my studies and go there and fight for the retrieval of our loved ones, because my sister was caring for me. When she was, before that incident, when she was alive. And then it's a painful story, it's a painful thing, because my sister left 4 kids. They're asking questions day in, day out. And I agree with other people, and they are saying we are governed by organized crime syndicate. We do not have government. We do not have government at all. Because all the required things are there to retrieve those people who are still trapped underground. And the worst part, Mr. McChase, I'm having his number and he also have my number. Sometimes he calls and tell me that he is sympathized with us, and then I end up answering him in another way. And he told me that he is not going to be arrested. Only his money will be arrested. I'm not wondering why the NPA is not prosecuting him, because of which they are getting paid. He said he has money, he won't be arrested. Only his money will be arrested. That is why the NPA is playing the delaying tactics to arrest these people, because there is enough evidence. That mine, according to the report that Mr. Mashaba said, it was from Roddy Kingston, who was a rock engineer. They were told that that mine entrance must be used for a period of 2 years. It was from 2007 to 2009. Then after, they were supposed to develop a new underground way. Unfortunately, they didn't develop that underground from 2010 up until 2016, because the company was more concerned about profit, not the health and the safety of the employees. I don't know who's gonna save us. This ANC, 2024 must be out of, May 2024, this year, we must vote them out of power. We must vote them out of power. They've done a lot of damage to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister. No. Thank you, everybody. That will be all. If you do want one-on-ones, please do approach our colleagues. Thank you all very much.